so many people who have had COVID, however long ago, are still experiencing brain fog and cognition issues and mood changes. And can you a little bit more specifically dive into that gut brain axis specifically with this, and how are you helping your patients who have contracted this disease and are still struggling with these symptoms?
Right. Yeah. That's a perfect question. Well, go back to, square one and say, well, what is driving these at a psychoneuroimmunological level? Okay. And you can give it any diagnosis you want. Long haul is just a description of symptoms, right? All psychiatric diagnoses is what we call descriptivistic methodology for psychiatric nosology. I don't know what that means. It sounds good, but what it really is telling us, we don't know what's going on at a molecular level with any of these illnesses. Actually, we know a lot more than we think we do, but I start at that level. So, your genes, uterine environment, early life adversity, current choices and habits combined with life slings and arrows, COVID, what have you, bring about progressive imbalances among various physiological systems to include, neurotransmitters, hormones, thyroid function, adrenal output, immune reactivity, growth factors, right? So that's your psychoneuroimmunological perturbation. PNIPs, I call them to rhyme with SNPs, right? PNIP, SNPs, and phenotypes is really where I live, okay? Mm-hmm. And so when you come to me with those symptoms, I'm going to look and see, well, what is out of whack? And if it is inflammation, then I'm just assuming that it's going to involve your gut, hypothesizing. I fervently believe it's going to be your gut. So they're the ones then that are going to get my best agents to accomplish roughly the following things. I'm going to seal and heal your leaky gut. Mm-hmm. I'm going to right size inflammation. I'm going to resuscitate your tired adrenals. I'm going to rebalance your hormones, neurotransmitters, thyroid, reproductive, insulin, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then hopefully once all that's working, I'm going to teach you some life hacks to leverage lifestyle, right, to maintain then those gains that we make. Now, how do I do that? Well, it's a host of, like I said, behavioral changes, nutraceuticals, vitamin supplements, minerals. Now, once it gets to a certain threshold and it's a psychiatric illness, I'm going to have to use meds at least temporarily. Mm-hmm. But I'm hoping that by doing all this other stuff, right, that I can get you on less meds, use them for less period of time, enjoy better efficacy with fewer side effects. So that's how I try to combine all of these things. They're also going to get my best neuroprotectors. This is all theory, right? I don't have a lot of data. But we do know what you need to do to protect your brain from Alzheimer's. And that's my biggest fear. All of my core psychiatric diagnoses increase your risk for early onset Alzheimer's. Who knew, right? And I don't want that. And I don't want you to have that. And we know that inflammation is part of all of those neurodegenerative conditions. And we know that most of those neurodegenerative conditions, Michelle, start in the gut, right? Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, Lou Gehrig's, right? All of those neurodegenerative illnesses really start in the gut. That's where I start. Remember, Hippocrates said all illness begins in the gut. I don't know who that cat was, but it made sense to me, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of where I'm at with what I try to do, kind of behind the scenes. I want not only to reduce your suffering, but I want to prevent the onset or delay the onset of these very dreaded, right, neurodegenerative conditions, and that I want to enhance the quality of your life, your pursuit of happiness. Medicines will only help reduce your suffering initially. They don't really accomplish those other things.